What's up, everyone? Welcome in to the Denver Sports Podcast. It's a little bit more of a somber show. We are live in the Toyota Lounge, and we are rolling here on this. It's one of my favorite times of the year, and we've got a lot to talk about today. Christian Saez, Harrison Wind. Welcome to the show, by the way. Welcome back to the show. This actually used to be your show back in the day.
It's been a lot of people's shows over the years. I know you said somber mood. I mean, I know the Nuggets lost. They're 12-4 though.
I know it's so weird.
We're doing okay.
I put on the headline. Is it time to panic? And I almost laughed as I was writing it out because I'm like, are we panicking at 12-4?
But the answer is no. Okay, we'll talk to you tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. And that's it. That's the whole show right there. No, but I mean, there's some concerns. We're going to talk about that as the show goes on. We've got a game tonight coming up, so we got a lot of Nuggets stuff to talk about. But I said it's my favorite time of the year, and I want to give a huge shout out to this because it's almost Black Friday.
It is almost Black Friday.
And we have our DNVR Black Friday sale that went officially live today. Was it today, right? This morning?
For diehards right now, you can get early access for the Black Friday sale if you're a diehard.
Unbelievable. So if you guys are a diehard
on Thursday,
you got to check out this Black Friday sale. Everything, all your favorite merch, all your favorite swag is going to be discounted because it's Black Friday. And the nice thing, I remember when Black Friday was like a day, like it was actual Friday. I mean, hence the term Black Friday. Now it's like you get weeks sometimes of discounts, and you can really make your money work.
Yeah. So if you're a diehard, thednvr.com, you can go to the merch store right from there, get tons of great discounts on merch, but just for diehards right now. So if you want early access, you can sign up to become a diehard and get that. If not, you'll have to wait till Thursday. A lot of people are saying it's the best sale since Wilt.
Best sale since Wilt.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah, you could see some of the gear up there on your screen. We got some good stuff. Now, if you guys don't know who I am, I come from the Rocky side of things at DNVR, and we have some good swag too. But it's a little bit harder to sell Rocky stuff right now. So I'm jumping all on the bandwagon for the Nuggets. You guys' Nuggets swag.
We don't have a Warren Schaefer shirt.
No, we don't. We need to. We need to get a little Warren Schaefer shirt. But all right, let's dive into the Nuggets today because Nuggets are playing in Memphis tonight, coming off of a loss to the Kings, and then the big news: Aaron Gordon sidelined for 6 to 8 weeks, thinking sometime in that time frame, and also could be extended because this is a hamstring injury that, to my understanding, is not new to Aaron Gordon, and so there's concern now moving forward of whether or not this is going to hinder him long term. Now, this is also on the heels of the Christian Braun situation. Christian Braun going out with an injury. It's just not the way you wanted to start the season for the Nuggets.
For sure.
From an injury standpoint.
I mean, the official timeline is 4 to 6 weeks. It could probably be 6 to 8. I mean, they're going to be super cautious for sure. But it sucks. I mean, especially after last season, the word to describe Aaron Gordon's season last year was probably hamstring.
Yeah.
It was the other hamstring, though, the right one. This is the left one. But still, it sucks, man. I mean, he is such an important part of everything the Nuggets do. You can make the case a lot of nights he's their second most important player, their second best player, clearly their third most important and best player. And he just kind of changes their identity. Now, I think they'll be able to survive this for sure. I mean, they beat the Rockets without him.
Yeah.
That kind of says it right there. But, then again, you see, against the Kings, the depth is tested now. And so there's a lot of questions, but I think we're going to find out a lot about this team. It's definitely better for it to happen now than later in the season, but it definitely sucks. But there is a little bit of excitement just in terms of, okay, we're really going to find out what some of these other guys are made of.
Yeah. And look, I know it's easy to react emotionally to these type of things because,
For sure.
It's it's a long season, and the
Also,
Nuggets
Aaron
are going
Gordon.
up against. Well, and the Nuggets are going up
He's the soul
against
of the team.
OKC in the standings, and so you're like, you can't even lose, a game like you lost to the Kings. You can't. How many sub 500 team losses can you afford this year? It feels like we're at the situation where my overreaction, maybe at this point, maybe it's not overreaction, is are we just going to accept that the Nuggets are going to get the number 2 seed? OKC, with how just dominant they've been and how hurt the Nuggets have been and will be, are we just accepting a number 2 seed at this point and saying, you know what? Once the playoffs start, that's all that matters.
I don't think that's an overreaction. I mean, I think the Nuggets, even if they are healthy, even if they had perfect health, which doesn't happen for any team throughout the whole season, maybe the 2 seed is the ceiling. OKC is ridiculous. Talk about injuries. They haven't had their second best player the whole season, and they've lost 1 game.
Yeah.
they haven't had Jalen Williams the whole season.
Well, and we're talking about the Nuggets' depth being tested and that being something that's going to come out of these injuries. Well, I mean, you look at the team above you, and they've got, it feels like it feels like a Grand Canyon worth of depth on their team. So
I think the second seed might have been the ceiling anyways.
Yeah. And who's to say if you had fought for that first seed, if assuming that guys were a little bit more healthy than they've been, that you wouldn't have put more, strain on Jokic and Jamal and the guys at the top. Like the whole reason why I think the concern comes up with these injuries, because the Nuggets are going to make the playoffs with or without these guys, but now you're having to put more strain, more emphasis on Jokic having more time on the court, Jamal having more time. I mean, you wanted to be able to give them a little bit more break. Now you don't have the depth for that, so it's like you just have to. Now you're going to have to scrape out some games.
Absolutely. And I mean, the schedule right now, which I know we're going to talk about, is absolutely insane. I have no idea what the league is doing.
It's a joke.
It's crazy. I don't think the Nuggets are going to be in Denver for more than 24 hours over the next couple of weeks, just going home, away. It's absolutely wild. And the depth is getting tested right now. And look, you got a lot of teams in the West that are playing well. The Lakers are playing well. Houston's playing well, even though, the Nuggets just beat them. The Spurs are playing well. The West never kind of sleeps. So it's just going to be a big test. And it's also going to be interesting because I know the Nuggets said this coming into the season, and they haven't exactly kept their word on it. They don't want to be overextending their guys. They didn't want to be overextending Yoke, Aaron Gordon, Jamal this early in the season anyway. But, you get into these big games against the Rockets, you're like, all right, we got to play everybody.
Yeah.
You get into these big, measuring stick games against Minnesota, and you're like, all right, we're going all out for this win. And, you love that as a fan. You want to see your best guys play in those big games. But now I kind of think they will have to peel back a little and be like, okay, we have to keep the long view.
Yeah.
We have to. We can't play Jamal Murray, 35 minutes on the second night of this back-to-back today. We have to keep the long view because now the injuries are stacking up and the depth is getting tested.
Yeah, it feels a little bit like a prisoner of the moment, right? You're in the middle of that heated competition, and
For
it's
sure.
like, we no one's going to sit there and say, we have a better chance to win with Jokic on the floor, but we're going to sit him in this crucial moment of the game. And fair. I mean, it's completely fair, but it's tough. And I mean, it's definitely causing some of the Nuggets players, specifically Joker, to get a little fired up. This is what he had to say, actually. He was talking to the media after the Nuggets lost to the Kings, and he was pretty frustrated with the output. This is what he had to say after that game.
Nicola, what did it feel like changed for you guys in the second half in particular?
I don't know. It was a really hard game for us, heavy game for us. First half was really. I think we had a lot of, me especially, a lot of missed layups, turnovers, and we were kind of always slow, one step behind. I don't know. It was just, and they played really good. They were pushing the pace in the third quarter. Every kind of shot was heavy. Okay, we had the game yesterday, but we didn't. Looked how to say, it looked like everything was heavy for us.
How were they able to be in your guys' paint as often as
Yeah. I mean, they were attacking. We did. That's something that we were not. Usually, we are really good at that. But they were just attacking us, and the help. The first one-on-one container was not good, and the help was not there. So it was just like I said, we were always kind of slow, one step slower than them.
Where did you find the energy that you did personally to go on that run in the fourth quarter to try and find a way to get your team a win?
I mean, it's a dogfight. Then you're just trying to do whatever you want to win the game, and we had the opportunity, we had chances, and then they executed. They scored some big points, and that's why they won the game. That's why they won the game.
Nikola, for you guys to be 12-4 right now, obviously the depth has been a big part of that. Missing multiple starters in some of these games as you have, just what's the process like of trying to figure out sort of the right rotations, the right sort of chemistry with different guys when you have?
I think the 12-4 are just it's not a real picture. I think we are not that good. I think we need to be much better if we want to do something big. Yes, we play better, we look better, but I think we need to do on consistently every night, every possession. Even if you make a mistake, but do a correctly mistake from our system, what we want to do, make a mistake. Don't make a mistake. Oh, I'm just gonna do something, So I think we need to be much better. I think we need to be scared, not scared. We need to have a sense of urgency of rebounds, sense of urgency of being on the right place, confident shooting the ball. If you often just shoot it. So I think 12-4 is just. I don't want to say it's a real picture, but we can definitely be better, and we must be better if we want to do something.
Yeah. Well, the key thing that he said at the end of there, and I'll read this quote out. I think we are not that good. He was talking about being 12-4. I think we need to be much better if we want to do something big. He also kept mentioning the fact that it was a heavy game. It was a heavy game, and I just can't help but feel like that was a picture of strain on a guy like Jokic, of the injuries that we've seen, of some of those tough games.
Yeah. Well, you got to think about the context of that game too. Second night of a back-to-back after a really emotional win against the Rockets. They got into town at 3 a.m. or something. And then Jokic says, okay, I guess I'll do it again. And he has 44.
Yeah. I know.
On the second night of a back-to-back. I loved him saying that because I agree. I agree with everything he said in that. We are 12-4, but we're actually not that good yet. And we need to play a lot better if we're going to actually do something. I couldn't agree any more with that. Mm-hmm. They're 12-4. They have a couple pretty good wins. Rockets, Timberwolves. Other than that, they don't really have, that many of that stand out from the schedule. They've beaten a lot of shitty teams. Sorry, read the report. But I think he's right. Jokic has said a lot of quotes like this in the past. He said a quote very similar last year. When they had a winning streak against a bunch of bad teams. He said, look, we don't have a lot of shooters. That was last year. I always joke that Nikola Jokic has never told a lie. This is just what he actually thinks. He's a rare superstar that doesn't sugarcoat anything, just kind of says it as it is in his head. I think the Nuggets are good, but they still are not close to their ceiling. And I think that's what he's saying with that quote.
Yeah. And I don't blame him for saying that. And I also think it's good that we're hearing this now.
Yeah.
Because again, this changes everything. If you're sitting here 3/4 of the way through the season and you're hearing this, and now you are panicking, hence the headline. Whereas you hear this in the month of November, and it's like, okay, it's a reality check. Yeah. It's a little bit of a wake-up call to say, yes, there have been injuries that have been affecting us, but you've got to have that bench stepping up. You've got to have Valanciunas stepping up. You've got to have people that are playing the roles that they're supposed to play at the level that they're expected to play at. And we haven't seen that in certain cases.
This is also a signal. It's as much of an answer to the question as it is a signal to the rest of his team. Everybody saw that quote.
Yeah.
Like,
oh, yeah.
The video we put up had like 300 retweets or something. Everybody saw that quote. Everybody aggregated it. Everybody posted it. If you're a Nikola Jokic teammate, I wonder if you're going, okay, I guess we're not that good.
Yeah.
We are 12-4, but okay.
Don't let it get to your head.
But we do have a lot of room to grow, apparently, if he's saying it. And there are guys on this team who don't need that to be said. Jamal Murray, Aaron Gordon, Christian Braun, both those guys are hurt. But I think they're in lockstep with Jokic. Yeah, we are 12-4, but we haven't really proven anything. I think it's more so for the other guys.
Well, especially the new guys. The new guys who haven't played with Jokic yet. I mean, everyone you've talked to that has had experience playing with Jokic has these stories of like what it's like to be a teammate of Nikola Jokic, and these other new guys don't have that experience yet, so they're getting it, and they're seeing, hey, he holds us to a standard that isn't like what we probably have experienced on other teams in certain situations. So it's fascinating to watch. It's unfortunate that we have to, I don't know, emotionally struggle through it sometimes, but it's good that it's happening now. So we got to take our first break of the show. After the break, let's talk about this crazy NBA travel schedule. What is there even to say about it? But is there a fix? Can the NBA actually make meaningful change when it comes to this travel schedule? Let's talk about that and more coming up next. I want to give a huge shout out right now to our friends over at Toyota, because Toyota is the official vehicle of DNVR. And look, winter is right around the corner. I know it doesn't feel like it. It's been kind of like spring here for a long time, maybe fall for a long time. But you got to get ready for winter, and Toyota has you covered because Toyota has so many different options for vehicles that can handle the roads here in Colorado. They've got all-wheel drive, four-wheel drive. They've got trucks. They've got SUVs. So many different choices. It's why I've been driving a Toyota literally since I was old enough to drive. I started driving a Toyota when I was 16 years old and have not looked back. Now I just got myself a new 2024 RAV4, and I'm actually kind of excited to start driving it in the snow a little bit because I haven't gotten to drive it in like any Colorado weather yet. It's been so nice here for the last month when I bought this car. But it's because Toyota's such a good car. I mean, like I said, I can't say enough good things about them. They have cars that can handle all of the roads that Colorado can throw at you. So if you're trying to get a new car for the winter, stop by Toyota. Visit your Front Range Toyota stores at a location near you. AutoNation Toyota, Arapahoe and Centennial, Corwin Toyota in Boulder, Groove Toyota in Littleton, Mountain States Toyota in Denver, Stevenson's Toyota East in Aurora, and Stevenson's Toyota West in Lakewood. Toyota is the official vehicle of DNVR. Also got to give some love to our friends right now over at Bet365, because at Bet365, we don't do ordinary. And I got to say, I'm a baseball guy. You guys know that. My background is in baseball. But one of my favorite sports to bet on using the Bet365 app and using that code DNVR365 is basketball. And the Nuggets got a pretty big game coming up tonight. And if you use use that code DNVR365 on the Bet365 app, Nuggets are favored by 8. They got a minus 8 money line for tonight on the Bet365 app. And Bet365 is one of my favorite places to bet because they not only just have great odds, but you've got so many different choices, so many different things to use. You've got the early payout offer, you've got the bet and get offer, a first bet safety net offer, so many different choices. It's why Bet365 is the best in the game when it comes to enjoying sports betting with your game. So whether or not you're betting on the NBA or maybe Major League Baseball, maybe football, maybe some hockey, maybe you like to get a little crazy, do some college basketball in there, use the Bet365 app, use that code DNVR365 when you sign up, and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 21 or older, physically located in Colorado. Please gamble responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. All right, back here on the Denver Sports Podcast. Christian Saez, Harrison Wind, talking all things Nuggets. And we're going to talk about this crazy NBA schedule, but I wanted to give you guys a reminder that it is the first official day of our DNVR Die Hard Black Friday sale. And I got to ask you, because, again, I'm coming from the Rockies world, so I've got a little bit different experience with our merch. I'm kind of jumping on the Nuggets bandwagon. What's your favorite DNVR Nuggets t-shirt, hoodie? What's your favorite?
So if you go to the, if we can click on the Nuggets
there's
section,
some good ones. I'm a little jealous. Like,
I do have a number
solid
one.
T-shirts.
I do have a number one that is in my power rankings, still as number one. And it's the Aaron Gordon Air shirt.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. That's a good one. My favorite personally, and again, I am completely jumping on this bandwagon now. The Joker face with Jokic, just a classic, an absolute classic.
I don't see the Aaron Gordon one in our store currently, though. Maybe it's in here somewhere. Oh, wait, here it is. Yeah, it's the silhouette of him dunking. That was on Christmas Day 3 years ago now, or 2 years. Yeah, 3 years ago now, I think.
3 years ago, my God.
Yeah, of him dunking over Landry Shamet. An iconic play, but I just have always loved the look of that shirt.
I gotta say,
it's still available in XL right now.
This might be a hot take, but one of my favorite DNVR merch items, although it's not available anymore, I don't believe, was the old and again coming from the Rockies side of things, was the old Colorado Rakes T-shirt that looks like the Rockies logo, but it's Rakes. But I wear that now and I laugh at myself because I'm like, the Rockies have the worst offense in maybe the history of baseball, so they're the opposite of raking, but it's still a pretty sick shirt.
Bro, I was actually just down in the basement and I saw a couple of those shirts. Yeah. There's a couple of them down there.
Are there really? Yeah. A couple of them left? I might have to snag those up. But again, if you guys are interested in picking up some of our awesome DNVR Nugget swag, you can check out our links. Like I said, diehards get discounts right now for Black Friday. That'll be open to the public coming up here in a couple days, but celebrating our DNVR diehard Black Friday sale. We're locked down in the Nuggets travel schedule right now. It's a crazy week for the Nuggets. Crazy couple weeks for the Nuggets. Nuggets travel schedule. I was looking at this because I wasn't even thinking about it. Again, my mind is all over the place. And I was looking at their travel schedule. They go from Houston to Sacramento, Memphis, San Antonio, Phoenix, Dallas, Indiana. That 8-game stretch, I think it is, insane. And we were talking about it like a little bit, before the show. It's all the NBA Cup's fault. It's all the NBA, that damn bright ass court NBA
the
Cup.
Emirates NBA Cup.
Yeah, sorry, my bad.
Get the sponsorship right.
My bad. Yeah. I'm not on board with that yet.
The Emirates NBA Cup.
Yeah. So what is there something we can do? Because it feels like it sets the product up. Yes, you're trying to promote this Emirates NBA Cup. You're trying to I don't know, do something a little bit different. Is there anything, though, that you can do to fix that? Because it feels like it hurts the actual product itself when you've got teams that are just bouncing cross-country day and night.
I mean, there's two things you could do. The first is just eliminate the NBA Cup after the first couple years of its existence.
I was going to say, are you a fan or not a fan of the Cup?
It's so stupid. It's a waste of time. Nobody really cares about it except for a couple little moments here and there. You forget about it the second it's over. It holds no staying power. I actually do think that in a couple years it will go away and the NBA will recognize that it's just not working. I think it's a good attempt from them to make parts of the regular season mean more. It worked for the play-in tournament, which has been successful, I think, at the end of the season, ahead of the playoffs, but it has not worked. I think it has a lot to do with the timing. Like, how on earth is it a good idea to have it begin like a week after the season starts? Like, the season just started.
I know.
But that's the reason why the schedule is so crazy now. And if you look at the Nuggets schedule, they have a full 3 days off between this Grizzlies game tonight and the Spurs at home later in the week. A full 3 days off.
Yeah.
And then, of course, they go into a back-to-back. So that's one way to lighten up the schedule. The other way is just to reduce the number of games from 82 to 60 something, which I don't think would be the worst thing in the world. It would give us less games to watch, less times to watch Nikola Jokic, which would be unfortunate. But if you're looking to eliminate back-to-backs, that's the other option. And it will probably not happen no matter how bad the injuries get. And I think the league right now is like at a historic rate for injuries. Everybody's hurt right now, especially guys on the Nuggets. I don't think it will happen because the owners would probably have to take some immediate short-term cut just in revenue, just from the ticketing. I think they could make it up more on the back end if they had, a longer-term view. But I mean, those are the two options.
Yeah, I've seen it tossed around the idea of them shortening the season or shortening the amount of games that you play in the season. And the reality is it's just there's too much money involved for that to ever happen. But it is.
Here's
it's
what I do
unfortunate.
think, though. If they went from 82 to 65, I actually think in the end they could make up the money and ultimately make more. Yeah, you lose out on the gate revenue from the specific games, but and again, I would hate to see this. I'm the common man. Ticket prices would go up just on a per game basis because there are fewer games.
Think of football. I mean, yeah,
Exactly.
it's supply and demand. I mean, that's
Exactly.
basic economics. I mean, if you have less games, less time to watch these players, you're going to be more interested in spending more to make the most out of those moments. Yeah. But either way, it's still just absolutely unfortunate that the Nuggets have to be stuck in the middle of all of this. And I did see, because we were talking about the NBA Cup, there was a comment that I just saw in the Toyota chat that I thought sums up the NBA Cup as a whole. It said best to be eliminated from the NBA Cup. When teams when you're like sitting there thinking to yourself, the best thing you can do with this tournament that's happening in the middle of the season is for your team to get bounced from that tournament right away, so you're not even thinking about it. There's a flaw. Like, that can't be the right.
Well,
right
you do have to play. You have to play one extra game if you get to the.
That's what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
Like, and guys are already hurt. Like,
you
you
travel to Vegas for it.
Throw it away. Honestly, the best part about the NBA Cup to me, and it could be a downside because some of these courts are just atrocious, but is the fact that you give a reason for there to be cool design. Cool is might be too skewed of a word. Unique, very original designs of jerseys, of courts, of just like. From a design perspective, I had D-Lan on the show talking about this not too long ago.
I'm sure he loves it. Yeah.
Yeah, like, it's just different. Even if you hate the courts, like, you're talking about them, you're engaging with that. That to me is the only thing that actually is a benefit of having the NBA Cup. And if that's the case, then just do a stupid design week, right? Do have it sponsored. Have it sponsored by Adobe Photoshop or something like that.
Yeah, I like this.
And make the courts every different color under the moon. Try to invent a color for every court.
My favorite thing about the courts is, how in the finals we've been complaining that they don't have the Larry O'Brien championship trophy on the court anymore. If you go back years and years ago, I think back to
like the logo of it on the court, you mean?
Yeah, there used to be the huge Larry O'Brien logo on the court
in the middle
during
of
the finals games.
Yep.
And it made it feel bigger. It made it feel more important. It added more aura to NBA finals games. And the last several years, we haven't had that. And a lot of the complaints have been, it just feels like another game. And it kind of does.
Is it now? I'm trying to think back to the last few NBA finals. Is it just like the team's logo, or is there an actual NBA finals like logo on the courts?
Adam Silver panicked late in the playoffs last year and put some small ones on the court.
But it is just the team's logos on the middle of the floor.
It's just the regular middle.
Really?
Logo.
Yeah.
If you go back like a decade, it's the actual full Larry O'Brien show. It looks incredible. It looks awesome. It just elevates the feel of the game. But my point is, they just had no problem putting the freaking NBA Cup trophy in the middle of all these courts for these stupid games.
Yeah, I know. Maybe that's a sign that something will change. Maybe they will put the Larry O'Brien trophy back in there. But it's the Cup. Is there other sports that the Cup would, like a similar like mid-season tournament, would work in? Because I've talked about that with baseball. Again, coming from a baseball background.
Baseball could work.
Because it's such a long season and nobody cares. Even if your team is good. I mean, go to the Dodgers or the Brewers or teams that are actually good. Like, it's just background noise during the season for 99% of fans until the postseason comes around. And if your team's in it, then you start to pay attention. Is there like a sport like that it would actually work in? Basketball does feel like another sport similar to baseball. You got a lot of games. It's a long season. It doesn't feel meaningless, but like the games just feel like they kind of all start to blend together in the middle. So I understand why you would go forward and try to put an NBA Cup in there.
I'm actually surprised baseball. I mean, baseball does have inherently just like a more traditionalist mindset than the NBA.
Baseball will never.
The NBA is always looking to change up and how can we improve this and that, and that's how the NBA Cup and the play-in tournament was born. Baseball, they're so more traditional in that thinking, but I think it actually could work for baseball.
Yeah, it's funny because baseball, you talk about it being traditional. They have baseball has arguably the best all-star format in all of sports with the home run derby and the all-star game even. And so they kind of just say, hey, well, that's our mid-season tournament, right? Like everyone tunes into the home run derby.
Right.
That's what we have to lean on.
Yeah.
But I do think it'd be cool. Hockey, it's a little bit different. It'd be hard. Obviously, football would be impossible. You could never do it in football.
No.
Hockey, similar to basketball, you could probably do something like that. We saw the Four Nations last year, and the Four Nations was incredible.
It was awesome.
But it was the same thing we were talking about earlier with like if there were less games in the NBA.
And that's not really what we're talking about.
It's not.
Yeah.
No, it's totally different because you're
more of an Olympic type thing. Yeah.
and it's almost more like an all-star situation.
That's
teams
true, yeah.
players
That's
on
true.
different teams. But the Four Nations worked because it was unique. It's not something that happened every year. I had Eric Lacroix on our show, doing TDSP last year, and he was saying, yeah, if we did this every single year, people would start to get a little tired of it. You'd start to be worried about injuries, and that kind of stuff. So the NBA Cup is, you think it'll fade out?
I do predict it will not be here in, I'll say, 5 years.
Yeah. Well, you know who won't be here in 5 years? Maybe he will. I don't know. But Russell Westbrook. I was going back. I was watching that Kings game, and it's my first time getting to watch Russell Westbrook not in a Nuggets uniform.
Yeah.
And I got to say, he wasn't. I wasn't a huge fan of him when he was on the Nuggets. He had some good moments, but
Great moments.
some great moments.
Yeah.
But now that he's not on the Nuggets, he's got to be one of my least favorite players.
He's back
in
to
the
that.
NBA.
Yeah.
Like by far.
Yeah.
Dropped to like almost probably the bottom on my list of least favorite players in all of the NBA. We got to hit our next break of the show. After the break, though, I want to talk about that. Who is the most annoying player in your mind, Harrison?
Great topic.
As the most annoying player currently in the NBA. We'll talk about that coming up next. Well, I want to share a huge shout out with our friends right now over at Coors Light, because Coors Light is my absolute favorite light beer. I've got a bucket of Coors Light in front of me. I don't know how old this bucket is, but it's been sitting here for a while, and every time it's tempting. It's sitting there, just it's looking at me this whole time. But I'm a big fan of drinking Coors Light in the summer, and I got to say, there's nothing more refreshing than an ice cold Coors Light in the summer. But I think it's a hot take when people say that like light beer or just beer in general is just a summer activity, because Coors Light hits all the same in the winter. Whether you're at an Avs game, maybe you're at a Nuggets game, or maybe you're just hanging out on the porch, just watching the sunset with your family, drink a nice, cold, refreshing Coors Light. There's nothing better than Colorado and Coors Light. They go hand in hand. It's why it's our favorite light beer here at DNVR, and my personal favorite as well. So make the most out of the times you choose to chill. Choose Coors Light. Get Coors Light delivered straight to your door with Instant Cart by going to CoorsLight.com/DNVR. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, based right here in our backyard in Golden, Colorado. Well, I want to give some love to our friends right now over at Brunt Workwear, because I mentioned earlier, winter is coming up and it's right around the corner, and you got to get on board with Brunt Workwear. They've got the best-selling Marin work boots that are not only built for the toughest job sites, but they're completely waterproof. I actually went hunting just a couple weeks ago and got myself some Brunt work boots, and they were great. I mean, I was hiking out there. They were comfortable. They were maneuverable. I mean, I felt like they were just perfect, but it was cold. And I got to say, there's nothing worse than getting cold feet, whether you're walking through the water or it's just, you're in the snow or anything like that. Well, Brunt work boots, they are perfect for, like I said, anything from the job sites to hiking to just being outside, maybe working on your lawn. It's the perfect way to go. And maybe you're not in a place where you want to get new boots. Well, if you're not in the place for new boots, Brunt Workwear, they have some other great apparel as well. They've got clothes, they've got tools, they've got all the good stuff. So be sure to check them out. With temperatures dropping and the holidays coming up, it's time to treat yourself or the hardworking man in your life with real comfort. Skip the throwaway gifts. Get him something built to last. That's Brunt Workwear. Our listeners get $10 off their order today using code DNVR at checkout. That's bruntworkwear.com. Use that code DNVR. You guys know it. Order today and let them know you heard it right here on the Denver Sports Podcast. All right. I want to know who you guys think is the most annoying player. It could be past or present in the NBA. Drop a comment in the Toyota chat. I see a couple people saying, it's more than just one. I've got a couple, but I wanted to know your take because you've been watching the NBA for a long time. Russell Westbrook grinds my gears, man. I just got to say, I can't stand the guy. Even when he was on the Nuggets, he was pissing me off. But at that time has come and gone. Now he's with the Kings. Who's the guy that gets you all worked up?
I gotta stand up for Russ a little bit, because I I grew to really appreciate Russell Westbrook last year on the Nuggets. And honestly, watching him beat the Nuggets the other night for the Kings, I was like, I kind of miss Russell a little bit, especially in a game like this when you like need somebody off the bench. Like I kind of missed him in that moment.
I even as a player, I mean, you could argue as a player, it's fine. It's just the personality, man. Like the way he talks to the media after games. Did you see Jerry Jeudy, by the way, talking to the media with the Browns the other day?
No, I saw him fumble that catch yesterday.
It's the same vibes for me where I'm just like, come on, man. But yeah, Russell Westbrook got to be on the low end of the spectrum for me. Draymond Green, a classic NBA hater in the world. But who's yours? Who's the guy that gets you when you're watching this person play, or maybe past or present? That you're just like, I can't stand watching this guy.
So right now, it's John Morant.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that's a good one.
So him and Klay Thompson went at it. I mean, and John Morant isn't even playing, but he found a way to go at it with Klay Thompson, and it's like, bro, you haven't done anything in this league.
Has there been a bigger fall from grace in the NBA in recent years?
You've made a couple All-Star games, like you've gone to the playoffs a couple times, like. How are you talking shit to Klay freaking Thompson, who is
the Splash Brother,
who has a hand in like half of the most iconic moments from the league over the last decade or so? I don't care that he was like not the number one option on the Warriors. He was at times their second best player, definitely their third best player for most of that run. Without Kevin Durant, especially.
Yeah.
What?
Ja Morant, to me, that was a good pull because I wasn't even thinking about him. He doesn't bug me that much, like
that's the topical
personality
response
wise, but he the fall from grace, the constantly bad decision making, life and on the floor. He's not even playing at the level that he used to. Yeah, that's a good one. I saw someone say SGA in the chat. That's huge. SGA doesn't even bug me that much as a person. But just watching him play the game of basketball feels wrong. It feels wrong the way he plays.
Not my favorite guy to watch, but I do have a lot of respect for SGA.
Absolutely,
after the playoffs last year and just what he does. I mean, anybody on the Clippers, just anybody.
What about Paul George?
You the Clippers Paul George hater? I mean, for sure. I saw he's not doing his podcast anymore.
Yeah,
too distracting from the court. Who else is
Chris
on this
Paul's
list
just announced his retirement. Was he he rubbed some people the wrong way. James Harden, another guy in that mix.
I mean, two Clippers.
Yeah. You want to keep going down the Clippers
Chris
roster?
Paul's not on there anymore.
Yeah. Trae Young and LaMelo. Yeah, that's a good one. Any of the Ball brothers. It can go either way. You either love them or you hate them, but the Ball brothers are definitely a little controversial. Embiid, another one. Embiid doesn't bug me as much though because he's just irrelevant at this point. And I think when there was the whole debates between him and Jokic, the MVP situation, it pissed me off a lot because you're just like, I just don't like the way he plays the game.
MVPs,
yeah, but now it's just I feel bad saying this. I almost feel bad for the guy.
I don't think you're that wrong.
Like it just everything's completely changed for him. But
I mean, just going back to the Clippers, Kawhi. I saw Kawhi. I don't think he played in the second half of the game the other night. I mean, maybe the aspiration payments aren't hitting anymore, not hitting the account.
Yeah.
Like, how can you root for that guy, man?
Yeah.
It's just like, we're so lucky in Denver that we have
Steve Ballmer. You a big Steve Ballmer fan?
I mean, Steve Ballmer is a great owner because he actually does care about fans and he does care about his team enough to pay guys under the table. Like, I respect an owner that's willing to
Can
go
we
the
get Steve
extra
Ballmer
mile.
to buy the Rockies and can we get something like that going on here?
There's no salary cap, so he'd actually be a great owner for
exactly.
the But no, what was I saying? Oh yeah. We're so lucky to have a superstar like Nikola Jokic, a franchise icon like him, because it's just not the norm in the NBA. That's just not how it usually goes. You usually get a guy like Kawhi Leonard who plays in half the games, doesn't really give a shit about the team or the city, or he's just kind of there to pick up a check and play basketball.
Or LeBron going from one team to the next.
Yeah,
just buying
you
championships.
don't usually get somebody who genuinely cares about team and culture, and all he really cares about is basketball. It's always funny to me when you see these clips of Joker sometimes in interviews or whatever reacting after the championship. Oh, this guy doesn't care about basketball. The truth of the matter is the only thing he actually cares about is basketball.
Yeah.
That's actually the only thing he cares about. He cares about basketball. He doesn't care about all the other crap that comes with the NBA. He actually only cares about basketball. That's the irony when people say that about him.
Oh, I feel like I was joking with D-Line last week on TDSP. I was saying, I almost feel bad, like not feel bad, but I almost like question myself, like I second guess myself putting these rundowns together because I'm like, well, we talked about Jokic last week. Well, we talked about Jokic the week before. Well, we talked about Jokic,
No,
and it's
okay.
like, and it's like,
okay.
no, like that's it's the greatest era of Colorado sports we've ever seen, and Jokic is the king of that. Jokic is the number one player in the greatest era, arguably of all time for Colorado sports. It's why I love doing this show, a show that, yes, we've spent the last couple of weeks talking about the Nuggets specifically, but we could do shows for the Denver Sports Podcast talking about the Avs. We've done shows talking about the Broncos, the Nuggets. Like you can mix all of that in there, and Jokic is still the GOAT out of all of that. It's, when I'm sitting there and we go around the Thanksgiving table here in a couple days, and I'm with, my wife's family, and we're all saying what we're grateful for, I'm going to say Nikola Jokic.
How's that going to go over? With your wife?
With hey, Marissa's a big Jokic fan, all right?
I know she is.
She's the basketballer. She played college basketball. She knows more about basketball than I do.
She's a hooper.
Her family, her grandparents, no idea. They're going to probably ask who he is. They're going to probably need some information on that. But speaking of Thanksgiving, what are you most thankful for from a sports perspective? Jokic is the easy answer. Mm-hmm. But from a sports perspective, what are you most thankful for this year?
I mean, the teams in Denver we're at a moment as Denver sports fans that might not come around for a long time again.
Ever again. I mean, it's one of those like once in a lifetime type of eras.
The Nuggets, arguably the best team in the league. The Broncos, arguably the best team in the NFL right now. They can get the freaking number 1 seed in the AFC this year. That is crazy.
Unbelievable. Yeah.
The Avs just never lose. They just don't lose anymore. They're on like an 8-game winning streak or something. They've lost in regulation. They've barely lost in regulation at all this season. Yep. So it's just an unbelievable time to be a Denver sports fan, and we're so lucky to be living in it. Also, we have just these iconic foundational core players on all these teams to where it might not be like this every season, but it's not like any of these 3 teams are going to drop off the face of the earth anytime soon.
I know.
You
feels
have
so
at
stable.
least, at least 4 more years of Nikola Jokic being in his prime. You're going to have a great team around him for the rest of his prime. You have McKinnon and McCarr surrounded by a really good supporting cast with the Avs. And you have what I think is a franchise quarterback in Bo Nix and another franchise player on the other side, 2 of them, and Nick Bonito and Pat Surtain, that are going to be here for a long time.
And a Super Bowl defense, yeah.
And a top-tier elite head coach in Sean Payton. Like, we're just so lucky, man, and it's not going anywhere.
It feels so stable. That's such a great point. I'm not a science guy, but what's that like term for like?
Neither, man.
Where's Hank when you need him? What's that term
He's
for
a
like
science guy?
Doesn't he have like some background in maybe it's business? I think he's got like an economics degree. Econ. Yeah, he's got the economics degree.
I would not say Hank is a science guy,
but he probably knows this. What's the term for like Earth is in this specific spot in like the universe and closest to the sun, close to the sun, but far enough away, like where everything is set up perfectly for life. That's why we haven't discovered life anywhere else, because all of the conditions are
global
perfect.
warming.
Would that be like physics?
I don't know, man. I don't know. See, I told you I'm not a science guy, but like I feel
global
like
warming would be the opposite of that.
yeah, it would be the opposite of that. But we're in this like perfect environment.
Yeah.
All the conditions in our sports are perfectly set up to sustain like a decade of success
Totally.
across all of our teams, right?
Dude,
or most of our teams.
I mean, the Broncos are going to build this stadium in the next couple years that I know Zach says this, and a lot of people think he's just being Zach, but it might be the best NFL stadium ever built. You know,
That'll get you fired up.
the Broncos ownership has the most money out of like any ownership in sports.
Goldilocks zone. Thank you. Sorry.
Wow,
continue.
that is a great
Goldilocks
call, chat.
zone.
Great
Yeah.
call. I definitely did not know that.
It was in there. I knew it was in my head somewhere, but I'm like, I'm not going to know what this is. I won't be able to pull this out off my ass.
The Broncos, they're going to have this great team and build this awesome stadium. And I mean, there's probably going to be a new Nuggets and Avs arena built in the next decade or so.
Yeah.
And the teams are in great shape with these, you know, not young, but franchise players that are in their primes. And we live in freaking Denver, Colorado. Like,
I know.
Does it get better than this?
It does not get better than this, man. You have, like you said, you have simultaneously, arguably one of the best ownership groups in all of sports, currently residing in the team, and at the exact same time, just a few miles away, one of the worst ownership groups in all of sports. We talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly here on this show. We got to pause for our last break of the show. After the break, who's had the worst season in Colorado sports? And the answer might surprise you. It's not just the Rockies, but we'll talk about that coming up after this quick break. All right. We talk about all the good stuff. Going to continue talking about the Nuggets here, but we were talking about the things we were thankful for. There's still some dysfunction. You know, I mean, we still got a little issues, especially coming from the Blake Street side of things. But I was watching some of our college football teams earlier this on Saturday and this season, and I got to say, it's not just the Rockies. Now, the Rockies might have the worst record in all of our Colorado teams, but who do you think has the worst season from your perspective? Who's had the worst, maybe from an expectation standpoint, that underperformed? I mean, what's had the most disappointing season in all of Colorado sports this year?
I mean, it's probably Colorado football.
Probably CU, yeah.
Probably CU football.
I don't know, man. I got to go with the Rams a little bit, and not to get too deep
I'm not
into the college.
as locked in on the Rams, but
it's just you went from being like competent last year. You know, I mean, decent team, beat some good teams. I mean, I don't know if you saw, they've got guys like spitting on other players. That, Like it's just unfortunate, and it's a rough way to end the season. The Buffs, and you know, obviously had a fall from grace, if you can call it grace, is where they were before. It was underwhelming. They had a great
year last year.
They did have a good year last year. I mean, they made it to a bowl game, and this year it was just nothing. Rockies, I don't put them in this category because you knew they were going to be bad. Man, did we know they were going to be as bad? Probably not, but you knew they were going to be pretty bad, and they just exceeded all of our expectations for how bad they were going to be. But there are a couple tough teams here in Colorado that, you know, we would love to catch up a little bit.
I'm a little excited about the Rockies.
Are you really? That's a shock.
I'm a little excited about hiring this De Podesta guy.
Okay,
I'm into it. Because look, for the Rockies to be good and to build something, they obviously need to do, you know, something totally different than they've done the last decade or so.
Yeah.
And they probably need a little bit of outside thinking that is against kind of the norm of how you run a baseball team. And look, like De Podesta, obviously, like he grew up in baseball. Like we know his backstory, of course.
Moneyball.
He's got experience in the NFL too. I just like bringing in a guy like that who has a little different perspective than your typical, you know, baseball GM. Comes from a pretty unique background, and obviously knows his stuff. Like he obviously knows baseball, and he grew up in the game, and kind of that's how he came up. I'm just excited that they are branching off and committing to a different way of thinking and just like a different vision. And so I'm kind of excited to see what happens.
Optimistic.
Really
yeah, no, I mean, I'm too. He's definitely the smartest, one of the smartest, if not the smartest front office leader that the Rockies have ever had. Went to Harvard. Yeah. He's got a movie made about him, basically.
And it just
Moneyball.
Seems that the Rockies, you know, transitioning from Dick Monfort to Walker Monfort, which it seems like what's happening, it just does seem like they are committed to doing things differently than they've done in the past.
Yeah, I think so.
At
On
least
paper,
from the outside.
we're gonna have a good conversation coming up with Rockies ownership here that we'll have for you guys on DNVR, and that's gonna be a lot of fun. But it's been a season where I think the Rockies are finally looking at it and saying, this is embarrassing, right? They've been living in the shadows for a while, which is part of their faults. Part of, one of the reasons why fans are so frustrated with that team is that they've been living in the shadows saying, yeah, we're still making money and we're bad. We'd love to be good, but we don't really need to put the investment into being good because we're just making money right now and we're not like the laughingstock of baseball. Well, last year they were the laughingstock of Major League Baseball, and it's like you can't hide from that anymore. So you've got to go out and do something. You hire this guy. Who knows whether or not he's the right man for the job, but on paper, he is seemingly a good fit. You had to go a little unconventional. You probably weren't going to get the conventional front office guy to come out here to Colorado, at least not for the price that they wanted him. So you went with the Harvard grad, just the nerd, the analytics-minded guy.
Oh, Jeff Bridich 2.0?
Yeah, basically, but with, I think, a better head on his shoulders than Bridich.
Oh,
And
I mean, for sure. Definitely a better managerial sense of the moment.
And the moves that he's made so far, albeit small, you haven't done anything crazy, there's not a lot to do right now,
right,
have been better. You've seen things going in the right direction. Hell, just the fact that they've fired coaches, they've been firing a bunch of their development coaches and also cut a couple of their top draft picks from the previous years shows that, hey, they're cutting ties with the past, trying to bring in a new era. We'll see how that goes. But I remind people when I do our Rocky show, we'll do our Rocky show again tomorrow, the Nuggets and the Avs used to be two of the worst teams in their respective sports.
Oh, when I started covering the Nuggets, they were one of the worst teams in the NBA.
And yes, there are differences you can point to. The Monforts as an ownership group versus, the Cronkies versus, there are differences. But to say that the Rockies will never be good again is, I do think, just underselling just the beauty of sports. It comes in waves. And eventually, the Colorado Rockies will, whether they stumble into being good again or they take calculated steps that get them back to that point, will eventually be a competent / winning baseball team again. Whether that happens in the next 3 years or the next 10 years is a totally different conversation. But the time will come. And I just try to look back on the Nuggets' failures in the past and where they are today and the Avs' failures in the past to remind myself that, they'll figure it out one day.
I mean,
someone will.
If you flash back to, let's just say 2014, 2013, 2014, I'd say, the Nuggets were arguably in the worst position out of any team in the NBA. In terms of just who they had on their roster, in terms of just the outlook, projecting forward, you could have really made the case that the Nuggets had the bleakest outlook out of any NBA team. And then they get Nikola Jokic here. A year after that, they get Jamal Murray here. And then they start to build. And, then things start coming together and they have the patience to see the process through and not trade Nikola Jokic and not trade Jamal Murray and not take a shortcut to getting to the playoffs. And then obviously it pays off. So I hope the Rockies have patience, which I think they will have with this new management.
Yeah.
But two, that they put the, right foundational pieces in place, because they have to have both those things. You have to have patience, but you also have to have the right pieces in place.
Yeah. No,
so
totally.
that's kind of my hope right now. But I think they're off to a good start.
I think where it feels so bleak is that baseball is set up differently than the NBA or, the NFL or NHL.
It takes longer to reap the rewards of what you
from a developmental standpoint, absolutely. But also from a money standpoint, it feels like the Dodgers specifically have kind of cracked this equation of hey, we've got an ownership with unlimited amounts of money, and we're just going to buy every single player that we want to.
And we're going to have the best coaches and the best
exactly. We're going to buy every single thing about winning a championship, which is why this upcoming labor dispute that's going to happen in 2027 will likely lock out baseball for at least a few months. But I think that's where, as a Rockies fan, you feel kind of down, where it's like, yes, our ownership group, actually, if you look at them, they do spend money. They're in the middle usually every year of like spending across Major League Baseball, but they're never going to spend $800 million on a player ever. That's never going to happen here in Colorado.
And look,
so you're going to have to find ways to win. You don't. But then it has to become more organic. It has to be, and the Rockies have sucked at organically building teams in the in the last decade or so.
But that's what I like about the direction they're going, man. I mean, they have admitted, I think more so this offseason than they have in, the last several years past. They have admitted, and I think been pretty honest that, we messed up really badly. Yeah, like what we've been doing. Definitely not what we should have been doing.
Yeah,
like we were definitely wrong about all of that. And I mean, the first step is admitting you have a problem.
That is true.
They have done that, I think, more so than a lot of people thought they would.
Yeah, and I did see Mad Dog in the chat said baseball has so many more games compared to the NBA. I've been covering baseball. I've been watching baseball my whole life, covering baseball for DNVR the last 2 years. I still can't wrap my head around how many games.
I don't know how you do it, man.
There's no days off. And,
I don't know
and like you get a day off and you're like, oh, it's a day off, but you're on a plane going to the East Coast,
Dude,
on that day.
If you're
it's unbelievable.
a beat writer for an MLB team covering a baseball season,
You just don't get days off.
I just working in sports is the best, covering sports is the best. I could not do that.
Think about broadcasting. Like, so
Yeah.
my background outside, if you guys don't know me, I do college football and college basketball with ESPN. I do play-by-play, and I absolutely love calling games.
Yeah.
But last week I was doing college volleyball, college basketball, and college football in the same week. I had like 5 games in 7 days. By the 5th game, I thought I was going to die. I was like, my voice, I'm like taking cough drops. Like my voice was tired. I'm like, my body's sore. I feel like, it's like taking a toll on my body. I don't know how a Major League Baseball, specifically radio, where you're talking the entire time, doesn't, like, I don't know how you do an entire season. Like Jack Corrigan, Drew Goodman doing 160 out of 162 games every year.
Well, and then you've got the radio guys for baseball that do it by themselves.
Yeah, no, I know. That's what I'm saying. And you do an hour pregame and an hour postgame every single game.
All right, I'm just gonna give some advice to the program directors out there. You probably don't need an hour pregame show for every baseball game,
man. It's crazy.
That is a little much.
I felt so bad for Jack and Jerry last year doing Rockies games. I mean, what do you say? The Rockies are the worst team ever. You're not gonna just crash out on the team every single game. You have to like kind of put things together in a positive light, and it's just miserable, man. I don't know how they do it. It'd be a dream job for me. I would love to be the broadcaster for the Rockies.
Right.
And I look at that and I'm like, wow, that's a very long year. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. Baseball can be a lot of fun. The playoffs are absolutely lit, but it's a long season. But
do you think the playoffs in baseball should be longer? Like,
I mean, as a baseball guy, sure. Give me as much as you can.
You play this 162 game season, and then you can just be out in a best of 3.
I do wish. So they like the gripe that I have, the wild card being the best of 3, like you said. All 3 of those games being played in one stadium. They don't travel. It's whoever has the high seed.
Yeah.
Theoretically, if the Rockies are ever back in the playoffs one day, most likely they're not going to win the division. Like, they're not beating the Dodgers. So you're getting in through the playoffs.
Right. Through the wild card.
Or through the wild card. I'm gonna be pissed if the Rockies make it to the playoffs and they got to go to Cleveland for 3 games to, and you're like, you don't even get a Coors Field wild card game. Like, I want at least one game, and I get the logistics are a mess, but yeah, that's my biggest gripe with the playoffs for Major League Baseball is it's like, give each team who makes the playoffs at least one home game. At least one.
For sure.
But it's the way it goes sometimes. We gotta wrap up here in the next 2 minutes. So I got one question for you on the Thanksgiving theme.
Okay.
Biggest Thanksgiving hot take. You got one?
Yeah, it's that turkey is underrated now.
I agree. Turkey is completely underrated.
Turkey has gotten a lot of hate. It's cool to hate turkey now.
Dude, my family.
That's everybody's actual take, is that turkey is not good. It's gotten to a point where it's actually underrated. It's good. It's very good if you cook it right. I enjoy turkey.
My family,
and I'm not afraid to say it.
I appreciate that. Speak up for those in the back. My family who lives in Seattle, they bailed on turkey.
This is the problem.
But they guess what they do now in replacement? Sushi. They have
insane.
sushi.
That's insane.
I almost sorry. I know my mom watches these shows. I'm sorry, Mom. I don't want to go home for Thanksgiving because of that. I can't do sushi for Thanksgiving. That's blasphemous. I agree with you, man. Turkey is all you got to do.
They can't stomach turkey for one night a year,
or at least go the other, like go to stuffing and do
it's so bad they have to go to sushi.
What are we doing?
Sushi's
insane.
A crazy substitute.
I felt like I couldn't speak to my family after that.
You got ham, like I get that. Sushi's a crazy substitute.
Sushi is crazy, and don't get me wrong, Seattle has incredible sushi. But I want to give my hot take
year long.
Real quick. We are heading into overtime, so if you guys are watching on television, head over to thednvr.com to continue the conversation because I got to give you my hot take. Turkey is incredible. Love turkey. Absolutely all in on turkey. My biggest Thanksgiving hot take, gravy doesn't belong on mashed potatoes.
What? What are you talking about?
No. Gravy is great for turkey. Gravy, if we're doing like...
That is insane.
Like, turkey breasts, gravy is absolutely great for turkey. But gravy on mashed potatoes, nah, dude. Give me extra butter, give me extra cream, make it all creamy.
Bro, what is happening at your family's Thanksgiving meals?
I don't need
gravy. What is happening?
I don't want to go.
Gravy can be separate. I don't need gravy on my mashed potatoes. My mashed potatoes are going to taste incredible as it is.
Oh my God.
I know. I actually told Marissa that when I first met her, my wife, and she literally was like, she literally was like, I don't know if I can be with you after that.
Dude, what?
I've gotten some hate, maybe some minor death threats after that, but it is, I'll stick with it, man. I don't need gravy on I don't need it. I don't need it. Give me good garlic
I'm such
mashed
a
potatoes.
Thanksgiving traditionalist. I like all the traditional food.
I'm not against gravy either. I like just put it on my turkey breast. That's it.
Wow. All right.
Yeah.
Well,
so that's
we got it in the show.
It's a true hot take. It is truly a hot take.
I mean, it's a bad
by every definition.
It's a bad take. I gotta say.
Okay. All right.
It's a bad take.
I'll take it. All right. We're gonna wrap things up here on the show. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. This has been fun. We'll be back next Tuesday for more Denver sports podcast. You guys got your show today, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Postgame.
Pregame, postgame tonight. Come down to the bar if you're looking for somewhere to watch the game. Been brutal for businesses on Colfax with this construction, but come down and support us here at DNVR. Great place to watch the game. Really the only place to watch the game tonight since they're not in Denver.
Yeah, love it. Hang out with us tonight. Hang out with the DNVR Nuggets crew. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys next time right here on the Denver Sports Podcast.
We all silly like the mayor.